Hello there! In this video, we're going to learn how to add and subtract polynomials. Polynomials is like such a big topic. Once you learn about, how's it called? Exponents. Once you learn about exponents, there is no way back. You're gonna learn how to add, subtract, multiply, divide, but we're starting with the basics. We're going to add and subtract. Let's look at this example. We have x squared plus 2x minus 3 plus 2x squared minus 5x plus 8. What are we going to do? We're going to combine like terms, and by like terms I mean that the terms must have the same power and the same letter. I'm going to combine x squared with 2x squared. I'm also going to combine 2x with negative 5x. Listen, we're only to combine with x's with the same power. I cannot combine 2x squared and minus 5x because x's are not to the same power, okay? And negative 3 goes with 8. So I have x squared plus 2x. So how many x squares do I have now? So I had 1x squared, I added another, and the third one. So I have 3x squared. Now, how many x's do I have? I have 2 x's, and then I subtract 5 x's. So 2 minus 5 is negative 3x. Do not forget about x's. And then I have negative 3 plus 8. So 8 minus 3 is 5. And 3x squared minus 3x plus 5 is your final answer. Again, I'm only going to combine like terms, okay? If the terms are not like, I'm not combining them. I'm leaving the terms by itself. Let's keep doing it. Let's look at this example. We have 5x squared minus 3 plus 2x squared minus 3b cubed. What are we going to combine here? I see x squares, so I'm going to combine 5x squared and 2x squared. Okay, can I combine anything else? Here we have p cannot be combined with anything, and here we have negative 3. Negative 3 cannot be combined with anything. So let's write down our answer. So 5x squared plus 2x. So now how many x's squared do I have? Now I have 7x's squared. And then I'm just going to write down whatever is left. So negative 3p cubed and minus 3. I think it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Let's do our last example with addition, and then we're going to use subtraction. In this example, I have 4 plus 2m squared plus 5m squared plus 2 minus 2m. Let's combine like terms. Ooh, I see 2m squared and 5m squared because m is to the same power, so I can combine them. What else can I combine? I can combine 4 and 2. And my negative 2m will stay by itself because I cannot combine it with anything else. 2m squared plus 5m squared. Now I have 7m squared. Then I have negative 2m. And then I have 4 plus 2, which is 6. So typically, when you write the answer, you must go from the term with the highest power to the term with the smallest power. Smallest power is usually m to the 0 power. M to the 0 power is 1. So 6 times 1 is 6. Let's look at this example. We have 5x squared plus 3x minus 4 minus, open parentheses, 2x squared minus 5x plus 9. How are we going to do this? Look, whenever you see this minus, that actually means negative 1. So you have negative 1 times everything in the parentheses. So I have negative 1 times 2x squared, negative 1 times 5x, negative 1 times 9. So let's open parentheses. Negative 1 times 2x squared. Now our positive turns into a negative, so we have negative 2x squared. Here we have negative 1 times negative 5x. Negative and negative gives us positive, so we have plus 5x. And then finally I have negative 1 times 9, negative 9. Look, only after I open my parentheses, I can combine like terms. If you did not open your parentheses with a negative in front of it, you're going to get the wrong answer. Okay, the negative in front of the parentheses changes the signs within the parentheses. Okay, let's combine like terms. 5x squared and negative 2x squared. And then I have 3x plus 5x, and then I have -4, -9. What I finally get, 3x squared minus 2x squared is 3x squared. Then I have 3x plus 5x, 8x. And then I have -4, -9. So I start at -4, I keep going negative direction. So I have -13. And that, my friends, is the final answer. In this example, I have 10x squared plus 8x minus 6 minus open parentheses 4x squared minus 6x plus 9. I'm going to show you the other way how you can do it. You will pick which method you prefer the most, either multiplying everything by -1, write it down, then combine like terms, or what I prefer to do, I'm just going to switch all the signs. So my negative here turns into a positive, and I'm going to change every single sign within the parentheses. So this was positive 4x squared, now it becomes negative 4x squared. So this was negative 6x, now it becomes positive 6x. So this was positive 9, now it turns into negative 9. And now we can combine like terms without getting confused. So we have 10x squared and negative 4x squared. Then we have 8x plus 6x, and then I have -6 and -9. So 10x squared minus 4x squared, that is 6x squared. Then 8x plus 6x, 14, -6 minus 9, so I start at the -6 and I keep going negative direction, so -15. And your final answer is 6x squared plus 14x minus 15. You can use either of the method that I showed you. I prefer using the second one. If I see a negative in front of it, I change it into a positive, and then I switch all the signs within the parentheses. Let's do the next example. Here I have x cubed minus 2x squared minus open parentheses 3x squared minus 4x cubed plus x. This negative doesn't just change the sign of the first term in the parentheses. It changes everything, every single sign within the parentheses, not just the first. So let's do it. Now we can combine like terms. X cubed plus 4x cubed. How many x cubes do I have now? I have 5. How many x's squared do I have? I have -2x minus 3x squared. So I started a negative, keep going negative direction, so -5x squared. Okay, and finally I just have an x. -x. And my final answer is 5x cubed minus 5x squared minus x. How did I got here? Again, I open the parentheses. If I see a negative in front of the parentheses, I turn that negative into a positive, and every single sign within the parentheses also changes. When you add, nothing. I mean, sure, you can turn this into a negative and then change every single sign within the parentheses, but then why would you want to do that? I only do it when I see a negative in front of the parentheses. Okay, let's do final example just to make sure that you know how to subtract polynomials. In final example, I have 5w plus 3 minus open parentheses 2 minus 2w. Again, I see negative in front of the parentheses. I'm changing all the signs. So negative turns into a positive, positive turns into a negative. But it only happens with the parentheses where you see negative in front of. This one doesn't have a negative in front of it, so you're not changing anything. You're only changing when you see a negative in front of the parentheses. And now I'll combine like terms. 5w plus 2w, I have 7w's, and then I have 3 minus 2, 1. So 7w plus 1 is your final answer. Let's do a quick review. If you see plus outside of the parentheses, you're not changing signs. If you see a minus in front of the parentheses, you change that minus into plus, and everything that happens inside of those parentheses where you see negative changes all the signs. Okay, then you combine like terms. If x is to the second power, you combine it with another x to the second power. But if you see y to the second power, you can only combine it with a y to the second power. Same letters go with same letters, but only if they have the same power. If they do not have the same power, and if they do not have the same letters, you cannot combine it. Only like power and like letters. Okay? If you see a negative, you switch the signs. As always, like, subscribe, Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.